Hello, Greg Griffin here from Recruitment and Retention, Human Resources, Harnett County Schools. This is a very brief mentor refresher training to go. We thank you very much for serving as a mentor this year. It's going to be a challenging year, but we're excited about it. I want to thank you in advance, not just for your service, but for your adaptability in the face of change and flexibility, which was the theme of our beginning teacher orientation this year. We're going to provide the new teachers with a lot of support, and hopefully we're going to be optimistic, adaptable, and flexible while we do it. So thank you so much for serving as a mentor. Now, if you have not received the mentor training yet and you have been assigned a mentee, that's fine, but please let the lead mentor at your site know as soon as possible. Remind them, say, hey, I haven't had the mentor training yet because we're going to be offering that in September and we need to know who needs to be trained. Okay. Alicia Washington, my colleague, will be serving the schools that you see on your screen there this year. It may not seem equitable how we've divided the schools up, but we have split the work not based on number of schools, but based on number of BTs as well as other duties. So it may not look equitable, but we have collaborated together and thought how we could best serve together as a team your sites. And so your lead mentor will be your first point of contact, but Ms. Washington will be glad to help you if you are a mentor at any of these sites. Miss Blaylock's schools, I'm going to put those up on the screen real quick. You can take a look. These are the schools where she will be assisting beginning teachers this year. We're going to work as a team, but Miss Blaylock will be your district representative for these schools for district support from HR for beginning teachers and for paperwork and licensure support, I might add. Licensure questions can go to the R&R that is assigned to your site, and there are a lot of licensure questions. All right, Ms. Blackburn, I'm going to put her schools up real quick. She also has South Harnett, that's new. We just worked that out together as a team the other day when we were trying to balance BT support. So BT support, district support, licensure support for these schools, Ms. Blackburn. This year, I will be serving these schools. My schools are a lot different, as are some of my colleagues, but we're excited about moving into new directions and meeting new friends. And it's going to be a good year. It's going to be great. And then finally, we welcome Miss Jessica Moss to our team. Here are her schools that she'll be serving this year. I'll be helping her at Everhills Middle School a little bit. We'll be working together. She'll be helping me. We're going to help each other at Everhills Middle. And so that's how we're going to divide the schools up this year. So let us know if there's anything that we can do for you. Now, the BT Central Google Classroom is a resource for all beginning teachers. We need to make sure that all BTs are enrolled in BT Central, and we might send invites to them, manually. We might add them manually, but if you discover that your teacher that you're mentoring is not in BT Central, this is the current class code. I just reset it so it's fresh. So make sure they have the BT Central class code so that they won't miss out on important information that we put in the BT Central Google Classroom. Okay. All right. So Thursday Teacher Talks this year will continue. It may not be on Thursday. I don't know yet. We've got to sit down and make a schedule. We're going to work on that very soon. Our fall schedule for Teacher Talks will be coming out pretty soon, and we will share that with you when it's available, so that if your teacher that you are mentoring needs some additional support, this is a great resource for them. But we need to make sure that everybody knows about them. I'm imagining that at least for the fall that they will be definitely done virtually. That would be my guess. All right, contact log, the minimum requirements. I always like to go over this with mentors each year quickly. I know you'll hear it from your lead mentor too, but that's okay. BT1 has to log 20 contact hours with you if you are a mentor for a BT1. You can go over in the first semester, but you're still going to need to get 10 hours in the second semester. So it's at least 10 per semester. All right. BT2, 7 and 7. Again, you can go over first semester, that's fine, but second semester, you'll still need to do a minimum of 7. And same for BT3. You can go over 5 hours first semester, that's the minimum. But if you do, we'll still need 5 hours logged for second semester. And generally, I think last year we asked for the logs right before Christmas break. So right around Christmas is when the first semester logs will be due. So please pace this accordingly. It gets messy when we start trying to backlog hours, errors are made, and those kinds of things. So, and if your BT teacher is very overwhelmed, I know they would appreciate it if you offered to help them maintain their log. It's not required of you, but this is something that I did for my beginning teachers when I was a mentor. I helped them stay on top of their logs because they were drinking from a fire hose, as my friend Donna says all the time. And so sometimes the logs kind of fall off by the wayside. So if we could help them with that, I think it's a great idea if you both have editing rights to the electronic logs, so that if you run into them and you talk about something, if you think of it when you get back to a computer or device, you can just go in there and log it for them so that they don't forget. All right, the mentor log, Miss Blackburn made a couple of changes to it, which I think are great. We've got some information in red that is some things that we've been seeing. Make sure you're addressing all 5 standards during each semester. Record time in minutes, not hours, and so forth. Virtual time can be logged. Time spent with me or Jessica or Alicia or Courtney or Carol can be logged as well. And so we just want to remind everyone of that. In your meeting notes, you want to be specific, but you don't have to write a novel, but do be specific. Lesson planning is too little, but like a big, thick paragraph might be too much. So just be as specific as possible when doing your notes, and let us know if you have questions about that. Now, if there are some old logs, see how this one's 1819 still floating around, we want to remind you that there was a demo entry for the old logs, which was just an example of what it needed to look like. A lot of people logged that 30 minutes when they tallied it up and said, then we found out that they were 30 minutes short and we had to send those back. So be aware if you have an old log floating around that we don't want to log the demo entry. Okay, and then at the bottom, we've made some changes. The signature now will verify that the mentor has electronically signed the PDP in NESIS for BOY, MOY, and EOY instead of having to have those pesky separate initials. So the signature will verify. When you submit it at Christmas, it's going to verify that you have signed electronically for BOY, maybe MOY. And then at the end of the year, the signature will verify all 3. If the electronic signatures are not there, then this contact log will be void. Okay. And then down at the bottom in red, very important, BTs cannot log per, PLC or PLT, whatever it's called at your school. Those are meetings that are required of all teachers. They've got to log above and beyond that, something that's separate. So grade level meetings, team meetings, we can't put those on the contact log. It needs to be time with you or one of the R&Rs. PD, required PD can't be logged, or going to a conference can't be logged. But if you talk about it afterwards, that could count. Like, let's say that you're, I don't know if we'll do many conferences this year, but let's say that your teacher is blessed with the opportunity to attend a conference. Coming back from it, you might be able to log a debriefing session that you have with them where you discussed it, how they're going to apply what they learned and that kind of stuff, but not the actual conference itself. So if you have questions, you can see the lead mentor at your side or one of us. Okay, and then I just wanted to go back where over where the forms are located again, like I always do. So in the staff intranet, under HR, Human Resources, we have a beginning teachers link. All right, and then we have a lot of links that are pertinent to BTs. But over here, we want to look at the forms and resources. And so we have our voluntary acceptance form 2020, which looks the same as it did last year. This only needs to be filled out if the teacher that you are mentoring accepts an extracurricular duty such as coaching or being the Battle of the Book sponsor. It would not need to be filled out if they're doing normal teacher duties that are assigned to everyone, like game duty or morning duty or something like that. This is for above and beyond that. Some principals, I think, have everyone fill it out, and that's okay. We want to, of course, abide by what we're being asked to do at our site, but that's what that form is for. Okay, so if I go back real quick, the mentor contact log that I just talked about, this is where everyone can make a copy of that. All right, it's going to ask you if you want to make a copy. You can make a copy. And then let me go back here. Let's say residency tuition and testing reimbursement is something that people need to be aware of. While funds last, alternatively licensed teachers are eligible to apply for up to $1,000, I believe it is, of tuition reimbursement. So this is something that people need to know about. And they can also apply for Praxis and Pearson test reimbursements. But this is for the residency and lateral people only. All right. And then finally, there was the optimal working condition form, which we like to talk about each year, can be found here. We'll collect these at the beginning of the year. If we need to do electronic signatures on things, we can use, I believe it's called Kami, Kami, or a similar app to electronically sign these. We will work with you on that if we're not face-to-face too much in the building with our colleagues. But the OWC, Optimum Working Condition Form, everybody needs to fill this out, okay? And this needs to be signed by the mentor and the mentee and dated. And this is where the mentee can share their concerns if they think that their working conditions are not optimum in terms of the assignment that they're in, matching their licensure or certification, number of preps, number of EC or difficult students, and so forth. And this is where I like to always encourage you as a mentor to advocate for your beginning teacher. If you see that they have more difficult or EC kids than any other teacher on the grade level, that might be something that you could advocate for with your principal or with one of us, and so that we can talk about what's going on with that. All right, so I think I have covered most everything. There is a form that you will need to fill out that I'm going to include here in the email that I send out to the mentor leads, that will attest that you did the mentor refresher. We're here if you need us. It's going to be a great year. And again, thank you for volunteering to serve as a mentor for beginning teachers for Harnett County Schools.